to join us on our very first sing-along song called I'm a Believer.
All right.
And we've got our lyrics up here on this wall. If you can crane your necks to see them, off we go.
Staff ministers, and we thank you for bringing into our atmosphere of worship the gift of your blessings here this morning, your presence here this morning. It's here that no matter where you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. You are celebrated here, and you are safe here. So we're going to begin this morning with our opening ceremony, lighting the flames of faith. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance and the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. And as practitioner Donna Wallace lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning. And I invite you now to join me in prayer. I recognize that there is a power and a presence in this universe. I call it love. I call it spirit. I call it good. It is the goodness that moves through all of life. There is no place that this goodness is not. And as I unify with this idea, I recognize that this life, this goodness, this perfect expression is my life too. There's no place that God is not. And so I know that God is right here in this word, right here in this room, right here in the heart of each one of us. And it moves on and expands on and expands on. We are all a part of this oneness, this goodness, this life. And so what I know for each one of us is that we bring this idea, we bring this life into expression as being who we are. If it's a smile that I bring to somebody today, it's a smile that I bring to my own soul today. It's knowing the best and the highest for each person on this planet, because as we lift each other up, we recognize the truth and beauty that everything lives within this oneness, and everything is that essence of love itself. And I give such great thanks for this. Such great thanks for being open and being present and being aware, being conscious that love is in action at all times. And I hold it near and I hold it dear in my heart. And so thank you. Thank you for this goodness. I give such enormous gratitude for all the good that's in my life now, in your life now. As I speak my word for myself, you know I'm speaking it for each one of you in complete gratitude. And so the word now is just released into that loving law that does the work and says yes to us, always says yes to us. And together we say, and so it is. And now I'd like to invite Tony Sparks to come up and give us our morning affirmation, our declaration of principles.
Good morning. Morning. We have our declaration. I believe in God, the one creative intelligence, operating through the universe and operating throughout my entire being, now and always. I believe this perfect spirit operates upon a law of mind and creates my experience exactly according to my belief. I believe this perfect creative intelligence can be used by me and by every other person to produce health, abundance, and love in mind, body, and total life experience. I use it now, and I rejoice in it, and so it is. Now I'll read the affirmation, and then you'll say it with me. Today, I let go of limiting the divine. I choose words, feelings, and actions that speak the truth of my vision for my life. I look forward with eager expectancy to the results, and so it is.
Thank you so much, Tony. And please welcome our soloist today, Wade Wooldridge.
Good morning. Choir show, 12 days. Get your tickets today. This is a song from a movie that won't be in the choir show. It's from Seesaw. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. It's not how you go, it's how you land. 100 to 1 shot, they called him a klutz. Could outrun the favorite, all he needs is the guts. Your final return will not diminish, and you could be the cream of the crop. It's not where you start, it's where you finish, and you're gonna finish on top. Your final return will not diminish, and you could be the cream of the crop. It's not where you start, it's where you finish, and you're gonna finish on top. You start at the top, you're certain to drop. You've got to watch your timing. Better begin by climbing up the ladder if you're going to last. You can't make it fast, man. Nobody starts a winner. Give me a slow beginner. Easy does it, my friend. Conserve your fine endurance. Easy does it, my friend, for that's your life insurance. While you are young, take it wrong after wrong after wrong. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. It's not how you go, it's how you land. To one shot, they called him a klutz. Could outrun the favorite, all he needs is the guts. Your final return will not diminish, and you could be the cream of the crop. It's not where you start, it's where you finish, and you're gonna finish. Yes, you're gonna finish on top.
Thank you, Wade. Wow. I saw there's some people who were able to sing that along with you. It was the first time I ever heard it was right now. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. Well, I'd like to start, not with my talk title, but by acknowledging that tomorrow is Memorial Day. And so what that means is that, actually I did my homework this time, and Memorial Day was started, first of all, as Decoration Day, and that was to decorate the graves of the soldiers who had died in the Civil War. Both Union and Confederate soldiers equally were acknowledged. So that's kind of a nice thing to remember. And then in 1971, it became the time to remember all of those soldiers who had given their lives for our country. And I think that that's a really important thing to do. And I also think it's important to recognize the veterans who returned. So if you're a veteran, would you please stand so we can give you a lot of love. So grateful for all of you for your service. Thank you so much. I know that we can't really express our gratitude, but we'll do our best. And what I was reminded of, a poem that I grew up with was the poem Invictus. And now Prince Harry has started this wonderful organization. And here's what he said about it. He started, I think, 4 years ago. It's called the Invictus Games. These games have shone a spotlight on the unconquerable character of servicemen and women, their families, and the Invictus spirit. These games have been about seeing guys sprinting for the finish line and then turning around to clap the last man in. They have been about teammates choosing to cross the line together, not wanting to come in second, but not wanting the other guys to either. These games have shown the very best of the human spirit. And then from one of the competitors from Team USA, he had this to say, or she, "Up until my awareness of the Invictus Games, all I had been doing was living in memories. In my mind, my life has been over, and I was just waiting to be done because I'm not capable of doing or living like I used to. I'm starting to think, however, that my game has just begun." So I brought a video of Invictus, and it's of servicemen and women. Each have a little line to say, so if we could play that now, please. And maybe the lights low.
I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul.
And the fell clutch of circumstance.
I have not winced or cried aloud.
Under the bludgeonings of chance.
My head is bloody, but I'm bad.
Beyond this place of wrath and tears,
knows but the horror of the shade.
And yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid.
it matters not how straight the gate,
how charged with punishments the scroll.
I am the master of my fate.
I am the captain of my soul.
I am Invictus.
I am
Invictus.
I am Invictus.
Let's acknowledge the poem that was written in 1835, British man Henley. And here we are, still moved by it today and by those men and women who are living powerfully with the injuries that they experienced. My talk title is Precedent and Principle. And those of you who know the Science of Mind textbook know that the real quote is, principle is not bound by precedent. Principle is not bound by precedent. So what that means in lay terms is it doesn't matter what has happened before. It doesn't matter in the least what happened in the past, in your past, in my past. It doesn't matter what happened last night or last year or last week. What matters is right now. The principle, which is very simply, it is done unto you as you believe. The principle is not bound by what's happened up until now. That's the best news we could ever have, and it is cause for celebration. It is really the light of truth that is everywhere. And what I know is that not only are there heroes in the military, not only are there heroes that we want to salute today in the military, but there are unsung heroes, everyday heroes. Men and women who do the right thing when there's no one looking. Men and women who speak a kind word, who have the practice of radical empathy and radical inclusivity. That practice of saying, if it's up to me, I'm going to include in my heart, in my life, all that I can. Everyone, regardless of whatever their thoughts are, whatever their expressions are, whatever their beliefs are. So I witnessed some unsung heroism this week, and I wanted to share with you. The first instance, first of all, we have exceptional staff here that work here during the week. Our Diane Hennessy has worked for us for years, almost as long as I've been here. I've been here 19 years, so she's been my right-hand gal. And we gave her 2 jobs this year, so she works upstairs 3 days a week and then here downstairs 1 day a week. And she got sick. She got really sick Monday morning. She went to the chiropractor, and we actually haven't seen her since, but I've texted with her. I know how she is. But so someone needed to fill in. Now, someone that you see almost every week is Mary Brogdon, who is a person who loves to be in service and who always says yes when she's asked. Yes, I'll lead Conscious Connections. Yes, I'll put a sound booth team together. Yes, I'll learn how to do PowerPoint. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I could be a receptionist for a while. So Mary worked both all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, and Thursday when Diane Hennessy still wasn't back, Reverend Patty left her, and she has lots of jobs to do because Karen and I are moving downstairs, and so they're doing stuff. She did the PowerPoint that you get, the email you get on Tuesday and on Friday. Diane does. And when Diane wasn't here to do them, Reverend Patty did them. I want you to acknowledge, though that's real heroism. That's saying, I see a job to be done, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. And then yesterday, I got a call from Reverend Karen saying, Mary Brogdon is in the hospital. What? And she had an episode in choir rehearsal. She was taken by ambulance to hospital. So I said, okay, I'll go and see Mary. By the time I got there, well, first of all, I want to point out to you that one of our former practitioners, she's given it up because of something, Karen Meyer, probably her big service to the choir, Karen Meyer was an ambulance chaser yesterday because she followed that ambulance all the way from here to the Mission Viejo Hospital and sat there with Mary as Mary was getting tests done. And then I want you to acknowledge our music director, choir director, because when I got to the hospital, Diane King Van was there, sitting with Mary, rubbing her feet, ministering to her. She'd been up since 6:30 in the morning because she'd had to prepare for the rehearsal. The choir show doesn't just happen. It doesn't just happen. There are days and days and days of rehearsals and of making tapes for the singers to take home practice. And so Diane was there and had been up since 6:30 in the morning, doing things for rehearsal, got here to rehearsal at 9:30, And we didn't leave the hospital. I left shortly after she did, and I think it was mid-afternoon, maybe late afternoon. And she still had work to do to prepare for today. Unsung heroes. The people that just do and do and do. We're grateful for you, Diane. So the update on Mary, Diane has the latest update, but the update on Mary is that she's doing much better, that she's feeling great, but we still don't know. She may know by now what actually caused it so that it won't happen again. So what do I know? Principle is not bound by precedent, which that means in everything that I've said so far, even though it's worrisome when one of our beloveds is sick, has an issue, is grieving, even though that's happening, that need not continue in the direction of, I don't have a choice in this. We're in a teaching that says that every moment we have a choice. We have a choice of how to perceive. We have a choice of how to look at life. We have a choice of how to live life. And the givingness of spirit is natural and normal. Each one of us is so completely supplied. But here's another clue. None of us have to do this alone. And we're not supposed to. We're supposed to be here helping one another. That's what this community is for, and that's why you're here on Sundays. And not just watching on the video, although I'm very happy for the video, and happy for people who run it, thank you, Paul. But it isn't about that, it's about connection. It isn't, the principle is simple. Change your thinking, change your life. It's a very simple principle. The application takes conscious thought, conscious decision to love, a conscious decision, thank you, Reverend Carla, for that wonderful prayer. It is all about love. We're surrounded by, and what is indwelling us and what we're living in is love. Love is our nature. Love is the truth of who we are. And that's the principle. So there was a unity minister by the name of Emmett Fox. Many of you have heard about him, love him, have read many of his books. He had a little pamphlet called The Golden Key. How many know the Golden Key? Okay, look around. He wrote the Golden Key in the 30s when people were experiencing poverty and hopelessness. And what the Golden Key is very simple. Take your mind off your problem and put it on God. Take your mind off what's troubling you and put it on God. Put it on that thing itself that is love, that is wholeness, that is truth, that is wisdom, that is harmony, that is blessing, and get it off the problem, and the problem will resolve itself. Because here's the reason why that works. In God's eyes, in the mind of God, in the truth of life, there are no problems, right? There are no problems. There is nothing wrong. There's nothing needing to be fixed. There's only wholeness, well-being, prosperity, and love. So when you put your mind on God, then God needs to fill up whatever is going on in your life, and it will shift from the issue to the good that you seek. Now here in Science of Mind, we teach you that it's a very good idea to know what it is you want. Because if you don't know what you want, you're going to get what you don't want. Because at least when I was starting this teaching, I could talk for hours about what I didn't want. And I did. And I did. And I just got more of it. I wonder how come that works that way. Because it's the principle. It's done unto you as you believe. If I believe that life is hard, that it's unfair, that sickness is, I'm going to get sick and old and tired and whatever else my false beliefs are, then that will be my experience. No matter how great God is, God can't bypass us, the thinkers. Can't bypass us. Moves through us. And is for us. It is for us. God is for us. God's love is blessing us every moment that we awaken to who we really are. And why that is so is because principle is not bound by precedent. It's not bound by precedent. I've been doing a lot of praying lately for a lot of people, and I love that. It's one of my favorite things. And what's happening, what the ministers and some of the Board of Trustees have decided to do is for a week at a time, we're praying for all of the people in our congregation, starting with our pledgers. And why we're starting there is because you cared enough to make a pledge to this center, so we're caring enough to put you first in our prayers. And so I sent an email to the first 10 people that are on that list. Of course, if your name starts with A or B, you probably got that. You probably got that. If it starts with W, you'll be about 8 weeks away from now. But you still will get, you'll still get on the list because, and what I did with the letter I sent out said, we're going to pray for the 4 areas of life that most people want prayer for, which is health, which is relationships, which is right employment, and which is creativity and abundance with either one of those, whichever one you want to look at it with. And if there's something specific you want that wasn't listed, let me know. I had 2 responses immediately. And I'm so grateful I did. One of our members who we didn't know was experiencing deep grief said, please pray for me. This is what's happening in my family. And another one who's going on a wonderful vacation, a trip, and please include this, the success of the trip. And then, by the way, my significant other has an issue that he's dealing with. Would you add him? Of course we would. Of course we would. But what we love to do as ministers and practitioners, as board members who are mostly practitioners or coming practitioners, what we love to do is to know the truth and see it in you, for you. Especially when you can't see it for yourselves. So, no matter what's going on for you today, if there's something, some reason that you were crying yourself to sleep last night, or came today with something going on in your being that you were concerned about, worried about, do yourself a favor. Stop by, see one of the practitioners after, or give one of us a call, make an appointment. You'll be so happy you did. And we will be so happy because being in service is a spiritual practice. Kathy Story often says to me, you've got the best job in the world, and I do. And I do. And I'm very grateful. I'm grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for everyone that's ever been in a class. And I'm grateful for those of you who are practicing what you learn, because you're making the world a better, brighter, richer, happier place. And I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. I've got a couple of things that I want to share with you. One is an old song Well, old, not in terms of old when I think of songs I know, because I know all of my parents' and grandparents' songs, but old in terms of 1980s. And Mariah Carey made this famous, and it's called Hero. And here's what she's saying. There's a hero. If you look inside your heart, you don't have to be afraid of what you are. There's an answer. If you reach into your soul, and the sorrow that you know will melt away. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on. And you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel that hope is gone, look inside you and be strong. And you'll finally see the truth that a hero lies in you. The song continues, it's a long road when you face the world alone. No one reaches out a hand for you to hold. You can find love if you search within yourself, and that emptiness you felt will disappear. And then a hero comes along with the strength to carry on, and you cast your fears aside, and you know you can survive. So when you feel like hope is gone, look inside you. There's a hero, and the hero lies in you. I see heroes in front of me. Some of you stood because you served the country. But each one of you is an ambassador of love into any of the communities that you're in, beginning with this one. Happy Memorial Day weekend. Remember, principle is not bound by precedent, and so it is. And now we'll pray together. In this holy, holy, holy moment of right now, I remind myself that the hero I've been searching for is right where I am. It's in me, through me, around me, and it is for me. It is love. It is that divine love that knows no boundaries, knows no bounds, knows no other or separation. It's only love. It sees everything as an aspect of itself. And I remind myself, and I remind myself for each one of you, that it is right where I am. I speak this word in the first person for each one of us. I am one with that power. I am one with that truth. I am the wholeness of that divine life. I know that it is my birthright to be free of any concern, any worry, any sickness, any disease, any diagnosis, any prognosis that is not the truth of that eternal, everlasting, vital force which is God. I know that I am uplifted by this awareness in this very moment when I know that every cell, every tissue, every function, every fiber of my being is in perfect alignment with the truth of my being. Not only am I enough, I'm sufficient to overflowing. There is nothing outside of me that could possibly help me in any way, for right where I am, I'm supplied by Source. I'm supplied by that creative process. I speak this word for love, that I love in a greater way, and that simply that willingness to give out love means that tons of it return, pressed down, multiplied, and spilling over. Love is. Love is my nature. Love is my birthright. Love is my experience. And I know that it is my nature to be abundant and to allow that abundance to flow through me as that greatness and goodness and well-being of the divine. I am the wealth of the divine, and that is in every aspect of my life. Prosperity is mine. Abundance is mine. I am richly supplied. And not only am I the wholeness and the love and the abundance, I am the creativity of that one. And that creativity flows through me. It flows through me like a mighty river of truth that sees and perceives all of the greater good, sees and perceives the new ideas. I declare a willingness within me to go with that flow that is God, to take chances and risks and opportunities, to be radically inclusive into my own life and say, yes, yes, yes. I trust the universe, I trust life, I trust God. I take the next step. I am moving forward, and I am so grateful for knowing what I know. And then with my heart filled with gratitude, knowing that this word has blessed every person who has heard it and continues to bless each one of us. I accept it in my heart, make it welcome in my experience. And help me anchor this by saying with me, and so it is. And now, Wade Wooldridge.
Hello again. This song is the title track from the first CD I ever recorded some 15 years ago. It's called Imitate the Sun. It's from a fairly obscure musical about the life of John F. Kennedy. And in the play, a young idealistic Jack Kennedy is setting out, but it's really a wonderful affirmation of life that each of us can use. And so I'll be affirming it in the first person for each of us. I will imitate the sun like no man has ever done. Like the sun illuminate the day, to this I do vow, to climb on higher now, and to break on through the mist, and to light the way. I will do what's there to do. I will see what's there to see. I'll throw away my limitations, taste eternity. No star will be too far. No wish will be too much. The world is mine to make divine, and God is there to touch. I will love with all my heart, see the whole and not the part. This dream asleep inside of me, I'll wake and make reality for all to see. I will live the life I choose, no matter what I win and lose. I will challenge fate, I will imitate the sun.
I think you are the sun. Never mind this invitation.
What my daddy calls me.
to share our gifts, our tithes, our offerings, so if the stewards would please come forward. And we take a moment in gratitude with our, and as soon as our prosperity affirmation comes up, we're going to say it together. Then we'll take a bit of silence to be grateful. And then after the silence, we're going to sing Blessed Always, and then something's going to happen after that. Okay? All right, together. Today I let go of limiting the divine. Oh, yeah. That's a great one, but that's not our prosperity affirmation. Although I do that too. Here it is. My offering is my acceptance of God as the source of my supply and symbolizes my faith in the abundant flow of this supply.
The tools that
Another spiritual practice, as I mentioned earlier, is being a volunteer, being in service. So if that's you today, would you please stand so we can give you a lot of love? Thank you for all that you did, all that you do. So grateful to each one of you. And then if the practitioners would remain standing, practitioners are trained in the art and science of affirmative prayer. And as I spoke earlier, if you want your life transformed, make an appointment to see one of these wonderful people. You'll be really happy you did. To get a taste of it on Sunday, stop by the affirmative prayer tables at the back or in the Tranquility Room, which is the room behind the table that's loaded with goodies. In service today, we have Jill Burnett, we have Kathy Story, we have Tony Sparks, and we have Donna Wallace. Let's acknowledge And if you're visiting us for the very first time today, we have a gift for you. And if you're really brave, you could just pop up and let us know that you're here. If you're not so brave, at least good for you, put your hand up because we have a gift and we'll bring it right to you. Welcome, welcome. So happy that you joined us today. Stay standing if you wouldn't mind. We're going to affirm you. So congregation, if you'll repeat after me for our visitors. Welcome to our center.
Welcome to our center.
We're so happy you're here.
We're so happy you're here.
We see the truth of your being.
We see the truth of your being.
You're a perfect spiritual being.
You're a perfect spiritual being.
We know for you prosperity.
We know for you prosperity.
Health.
Health.
Love. And creativity. Welcome home.
Welcome home.
And you may be seated. In the green bag that you receive is a welcome card. If you fill it out and take it to the bookstore after service, you'll receive something else. It's a gift, a book for you. So happy that you're here with us. And now, announcements.
A special announcement from Diane right after the, what do you call the playing outside? Recessional, that's the word for it. We're going to be moving the piano up onto the stage here. So we need 7 or 8 good, strong backs. Guys, men, if you're, or women, if you're so inclined, come on down and help us do that. And speaking of the choir show has, coming up, all of the good songs of the silver screen.
But being the jealous actors that we are, we wanted to steal some of the scenes.
Do you think we can get away with that?
Surely nobody listens to these announcements anyway.
They do listen, and don't call me Shirley.
Conscious Connections takes place today after the service from 12 to 12:30. Feel free to join the discussion and talk about the ideas presented here today.
You talking to me?
And childcare is provided.
Nobody puts baby in the corner. Come on.
Tuesday night, Dr. Heather's class begins the next 8-week session, The Nature of Effective Prayer. New students are welcome to sign up on the kiosk.
You don't understand. I could have had class. I could have been a contender. I could have been somebody instead of a bum, which is what I am.
Don't let this happen to you. Take the class!
Aiden Greeny will be teaching a visioning class on Sundays from 12:30 to 2:30. This is an 8-week accredited class that goes from June 17th to August 5th, and the cost is $160.
Show me the money!
There is a sign-up sheet on the kiosk.
This week's Wednesday's Wisdom will feature a sacred healing service led by Dr. Jeannie Hounshell.
Here's Jeannie!
We'll always have Wednesday's Wisdom.
Well, maybe not, because the following week on June 6th, there will be no Wednesday's Wisdom due to the choir rehearsals that will take place every night that week.
Yeah. But that would have been the potluck. And I might actually like the pot. But anyway, as God is my witness, I will never be hungry again.
The Roots of the Science of Mind spiritual tour will be opening up to other spiritual centers after today.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
So this would be the perfect time to make your reservation to ensure you have a good spot.
And we still have a few spaces available in the new friendship circles, which are almost ready to begin.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
So Reverend Carla's got to come up now and make you an offer you can't refuse.
So Dr. Heather and myself would like to personally invite you to join us for one of our friendship circles. And we still have a few seats available. Some of you might be wondering, what is a friendship circle? Well, it's a sacred date to join others once a month that want to share deep and meaningful conscious conversations. It's a place to be in spiritual practice. It's a time for supporting others and being supported in this thing we call life. And it's a call to you living your best life. If you'd like to speak to me a little bit more about the Friendship Circle, I'm going to be available directly after this service in the back of our sanctuary. And if you'd like to sign up, even the better. Hope to see you.
If everyone signs up, you're gonna need a bigger boat.
And don't forget to get your tickets today for the choir show June 8th.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's gonna be a bumpy night.
That's only a week from next Friday. Now the truth is...
The truth? You can't handle the truth.
The truth is that we aren't doing any scenes or quotes that night. We're doing all your favorite songs from the movies. In fact, it's called Songs of the Silver Screen.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
There are songs from The Wizard of Oz.
There's no place like home. And from The Music Man.
We've got trouble right here in the River City.
And from a wide assortment of movies.
Mama always said life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get.
You had me at hello.
Tickets are $20 and $25 and include a trip to the concession stand.
I've always relied on the kindness of strangers, but you can get your tickets from Rita in the back of the room.
Badges? We don't need no stinking badges.
Yes, but you do need a ticket.
And you should get it from Rita today.
After all, tomorrow is